All right, I believe we are live. Namaste, warmly welcome. Uh, my name is Ruben and I'm representing Yoga Meditation.stream, which is a cooperation between various meditation schools in Norway, UK and Canada. So we are very happy to have you here. And today we have invited our dear friend, Yoga Master Balakhilya to speak about the 3 psychological influences that shape our lives. So I'd like to warmly invite Balakhilya to speak and thank all of you for coming. So please, Balakhilya, the floor is yours, so to speak.
Namaste, Ruben. Haribol. Nice to see you. Thanks for the invitation today. So, yeah, we're going to speak about realities of the material world today. And, of course, we don't know what we need to know, and we know a lot of things we don't need to know. So, we're going to try to make it clear what actually shapes our lives, what influences us, why do we do what we do, why do we think how we think, and so on. So before I begin my programs, I always offer my respects to my spiritual masters, Siddha Sarupananda Paramahamsa and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami. And I speak from the platform of Bhakti Yoga. And I also always begin my programs with a very easy meditation that we can all take part in. I know everybody's been busy today, so it helps us to slow down, to relax. Number 2, by doing this meditation, it helps us to understand the subject matter a little more easily. And number 3, you get to learn this meditation. And you can take it and apply it to your life. You can make it an everyday part of your life. That would be wonderful because it's so beneficial. So the type of meditation is mantra meditation. And mantras are actually very special. They're transcendental sounds. That means spiritual sounds that originate in the spiritual world and descend into the material world. Because they come from the spiritual realm, they bring with them great spiritual power. Therefore, when we contact this transcendental sound vibration, automatically we receive great spiritual benefit. So this is the easiest of all meditations, but at the same time, the most effective. The mantra we will be using is the mantra Gauranga. We will divide Gauranga into 4 syllables. Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. So, the technique is a deep breathing technique. Also correct breathing, very, very beneficial for the body and also the mind. So, it goes like this. We inhale through the nose, slowly and gently, but very deeply. We take the air all the way down to the lower abdomen. And as we inhale silently in the mind, we're going to chant Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. Very gently, very softly in the mind. Gradually the body is filling with air. When the body is full, we begin to exhale, and out loud we chant. Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. Repeat. Inhale, Gauranga in the mind. Exhale, Gauranga out loud. Before we begin the meditation, we want to relax. Relax your face, your neck, your shoulders, your chest. See, the whole upper body. And in addition, relax the mind. Very important. Try to relax the mind. So to help us relax, we're going to take a big breath in and let it back out through the nose. With the outgoing breath, let your anxiety, your tension, your frustration go away. While we do the meditation, we want to listen very closely to the sound and also put the mind on the sound. Meditate on the sound. All right, everybody at home, I want you to get comfortable. Whether you're sitting on the floor, you're sitting on a chair, you're sitting on a sofa, it doesn't matter. Just get comfortable, and if during the meditation you become uncomfortable, then readjust. When we finish the meditation, just sit quietly for a few moments and feel the effect. Also, one other point. Once you've learned the mantra, I suggest you close your eyes. This helps us to relax more deeply and also prevents distraction. Okay, so let us begin. Just follow my guidance. Everybody take a big breath, let it out, and relax. Now very slowly, gently and deeply inhale and chant Gauranga in the mind. Gauranga. Two more times. Haribol. So you can see this is a very easy meditation to do. I'm sure you experience this very relaxing. This was a very short session, but in that few minutes that we did this meditation, you can see how it has such a calming effect. So as I mentioned already, add it to your life. This is very, very easy, but very valuable. See, early in the morning, or before you go to bed at night, sunrise, sunset, anytime, anywhere is a good time for Garanga breathing meditation. Okay, so all the information I'll present is based on the teaching of the Vedic scriptures. And the Vedas are the most ancient of all scriptures. They were written down 5,000 years ago. But this knowledge is eternal knowledge. So prior to being written down, it was passed down orally from one perfect master to the next. Such a line of perfect teachers is known as a disciplic succession or a parampara. And a parampara is necessary for the truth to descend in its pure form. We are in the parampara known as the Brahma Sampradaya. And we feel very fortunate to receive our knowledge through this lineage. So this is not my opinion. I'm just passing on this eternal science. So today's title is The Three Influences of Material Nature That Shape Our Lives. Now I know many of you have joined us in previous presentations, so you're probably already aware of the truth of your identity. And this is absolutely the beginning point of understanding life, of having any semblance of knowing what's going on. Because we normally identify ourselves as our material body. And so we go through life thinking I'm male or female, I'm Norwegian, I'm American, I'm black, I'm white, I'm a member of this family, and all the other labels that we walk around with. You see, our professional label. Oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a secretary, I'm a nurse. Our marital status is always a part of that idea. See, I am married, see, husband, wife, if we have children, and on it goes, see. But is this true we really are? And the answer is very easy to say, no. We're not this material body. Scientists have proven in the laboratories, scientists have proven in the laboratories that no cell in the human body lives more than 5 years. So every 5 years, everything in the body is changed. It's all new, but we're the same person. See, we don't change, the body does. We also learn in the Vedas that we have two bodies. The one I've just been referring to is the gross, physical, external body. However, we have another subtler body, see, and that is called the mental body, the psychic body, the astral body, see. It's made of subtle material energy, not who we are. There's two energies, and the Vedas describe very clearly, see. So, our bodies are material energy, but we are spiritual energy. Another category of energy. Tiny little spark of spiritual energy. Describes we're atomic in size. And of course we all know material energy is temporary. See, connected with the body. Our bodies are very temporary. See, we're always trying to hang on to them. Oh, we don't want them to get old. We don't want them to die. See, scientists are trying to find the secret to why we age so they can make it so we don't get old, and so on. Material energy is temporary. It comes and it goes. But spiritual energy is eternal. See, eternal means no beginning and no end. See, so that's us. We are eternal. We also learn material energy is non-living. And again, that's so simple to see. This microphone, there's no life here. But we learn that spirit is life itself. There is no such thing as live matter. There is no such thing as dead spirit. See, we're the life force in the body. And as long as we're present in the body is called alive. But it's not true. The body's dead. We are alive. And that becomes very obvious at the time of death. At the time of death, we leave the body, and at that moment, the body reveals its true nature. It can't even sit in a chair. Falls on the floor. See? So, we're the life force in the body. Therefore, our true identity is spirit soul. Spirit meaning we're spiritual in essence. See, the spiritual energy. Soul meaning that individual spiritual spark that we eternally are. We never become someone else. We never cease to exist. See? So, that is the truth of our identity. We also learn that we're a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. There's a supreme eternal soul from which we all come. We are known as the Atma, and the Supreme Soul is the Paramatma. So knowing this eternal truth, then we can begin to understand the material world, how it works, our position in the material world, and why it's like it is, and how these material energies affect us. And as it says in the title, shape our lives. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, which is our main Vedic text that we study in Bhakti Yoga, in fact, the Bhagavad Gita has been described as the supreme book of yoga. And we only recommend one edition of Bhagavad Gita as it is, by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami. This is the most authentic, pure, unadulterated of all different versions of the Bhagavad Gita. And like I say, the only one we recommend. But in the 14th chapter, which is a total chapter dedicated to this material influence, and it's called the three modes of material nature. Material nature is what comprises the material world. It is called the external energy of the Supreme Soul. Internal energy is the spiritual energy, You and I are a part of that. And the external energy is this material energy. It's also known as the inferior energy, and the spiritual energy is the superior energy. Now, it is described in this 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that the material atmosphere, the material energy, is composed of three aspects or three modes of material nature. These modes are also known as gunas. Three gunas. So, in the Sanskrit terminology, they're known as sattva guna, raja guna, and tama guna. In the English version, it's known as the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. And these three modes are present in the material world everywhere. They basically make up the material energy. This is not a perfect example, but we know that water is made from hydrogen and oxygen. So, what is water? Hydrogen and oxygen. What is the material energy? These three gunas: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Again, it's not a perfect example, but it's an illustrative example. Now, they're present everywhere, and they exert their influence upon us, always. As soon as the eternal spirit soul enters into the material atmosphere, it takes on a material body. Remember, we have two, subtle and gross, and it becomes conditioned by these modes of nature. Conditioned, this is a key word to this understanding. See, let me explain that in an illustrative way. We know in everyday life, in the course of a year, we are conditioned by the weather. You should know that in Norway. More than other places sometimes, you see. Meaning like this: as the weather changes, we change accordingly. See? In winter, it's cold. So what do we do in connection with that? It conditions us to what? Wear warm clothes. We wear big jackets. We wear, merino wool under layers, and we have different shoes. We have warm boots, and we have gloves and hats and those kinds of clothes. Why? Because it's cold. See, so that's what we do. It's basically automatic. We develop a desire to have warm clothes, you see. In the summer, when it's hot, we're conditioned a different way. See, we're looking for relief from warmth, so we have very thin clothes. We wear shorts, we wear flip-flop shoes, we go barefooted, we wear thin shirts. See, if we have a hat, it's a sun hat, it's not a warm beanie. We don't wear gloves, etc., etc. Because we're conditioned by the warm temperatures. So we think a different way. We react in a different way. Our desires are different. Very rare does a person go shopping for winter clothes in the summer. You're not interested. And very rare does a person go shopping for summer clothes in the winter, unless it's a very, very good sale. You see, a good offer. And you have some amazing sales in Norway. I like that. Oh, 70% off, 80% off. You're not thinking winter clothes, but it's too good a deal to pass up. Wow, I got to buy that. And we know that in winter, I'll appreciate that. But the point is the same. We're conditioned to act a certain way, think a certain way, have a certain desire, and so on. You look in the closet in the summer, when it's plus 30, 35, I don't know if it ever gets that hot in Norway, but let's say 30, maybe once or twice a year. You look in there and you see all those big jackets and all those warm hats and gloves. And you can't even relate to it. It's like you can't even relate. But when winter comes, you're going after those clothes. You're conditioned. This is the point. See, try to understand the point. Mm-hmm. So, in the material world, these three modes of material nature condition us to act a certain way, to feel a certain way, to have certain desires, to have certain vision. You see? All the things that shape our lives are a result of the influence of the modes of material nature. Let me give you one more illustrative example of conditioning or influence. We'll call it more the influence on this example. Let's say you're just a mild, gentle, clear-headed person, often, kind and caring about other people and whatever. Nice guy. But then you drink one bottle of vodka and you become a completely different person. You're not clear-headed anymore. You're stupid. You don't say sane things. You say crazy things. You slur your speech. Maybe you're an athlete. You're so dexterous at running and controlling your body. But after that bottle of vodka, you can't even walk. You're falling down. You're bumping into things. You never get sick normally. You're throwing up. You see? That's the influence of the vodka. That is not you. That's the vodka talking. I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to do this. Rah, 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 rah. See? And people even say, don't pay attention to him. That's just the vodka talking. You see? You're influenced by that and you become a completely different person. You're thinking stupid. You're acting stupid. You're being stupid. You are stupid. When really you're not in general. You see? So, this is the reality of how we, in our material bodies, under the influence of the modes of material nature, are basically displaying these influences in different ways. So let's go through the three modes again. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. They're pretty self-explanatory. In other words, influenced by the mode of goodness. Now, let me back up one step because this is important. These influences are psychological influences. This is where the influence is. And if you think about your life as it is today, all of the things you do basically are coming from this psychic level, this mental level. They even call mind-altering drugs, psychedelic drugs, psychotropic drugs. You see, they affect your psyche in a certain way. Or many people now have mental issues, and they call them psychic issues. See, we're very weak psychically in this age we live in now called Kali Yuga. You see. So the psyche, that subtle body, this mental body, is very, very dynamic, or the big player, the source of how we are, how we think, how we act, and so on. It shapes our activities. Our activities are so obvious that it kind of shapes the world, you see. Because the activities are just an expression of the influence of these modes of nature. All right, so understanding that, the mode of goodness has a good influence. See, self-explanatory, right? Under the influence of the mode of goodness, you're a very kind person. You're a very simple person. You find your happiness and your satisfaction in mode of goodness things. See, so nature is in the mode of goodness. You're attracted to nature. You find great inspiration. You find great upliftment, you see, and peace and calmness and happiness in nature. You gravitate toward that, you see. And this makes you happy. You're attracted to mode of goodness food, fresh fruits, vegetables, vegetarian diets. You see, clean food, staying away from the junk, staying away from the things that aren't good for you. You see, you're not attracted to intoxication. You don't need that stuff. You don't want that stuff. It basically has no place in your life, you see. So, these kinds of ideas, you're more charitably disposed. You're thinking of other people more. You want to help other people. You're a kind person, see. You're always on the front of, oh, what can I do for you? You have a service attitude, see. You want to serve instead of be served more and more. You like simple things, simple accommodations, simple clothes, simple activities, simple life, you know. And you're more inclined to be interested in higher spiritual truths. You're interested in what's out there, what is more than what I see right here. You start to even maybe question, who am I? See, who am I really? You know, what is this life for? You know, it has to be more to life than just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. See, you're on a different level of consciousness. You're attracted to associate with people that are on the same level. You're not attracted to the people who are influenced by the lower modes of nature. They just don't jive with you. They're not your people, so to speak. You know, you don't have a common language. So this is good. This is a good influence, mode of goodness. And the result of this is you're basically, materially speaking, happy and satisfied. You don't need tons of stuff to be satisfied. You're not bored with simple living and high thinking. See? You're a very steady person. You're not all over the place, up and down and dissatisfied and always in anxiety. You don't. You're above it. You're on a higher level. Okay, that's the influence of the mode of goodness. The mode of passion, again, self-explanatory. It has a passionate influence. So a person under the influence of the mode of passion, number one, his senses are always agitated. And the mind is the sixth sense. So he's always an agitated person. He's driven. He's a driven person from within. He can't sit still for a moment. He's always got a big agenda. I must achieve this. I must achieve that. Accomplish. Get ahead. Be the best. Be number one. Be recognized. Be famous. Be rich. Be powerful. You see, simple life is boring. You see, if he goes to nature, he's going to set records. How fast he can run. How quickly he can climb the mountain. How high can he go? How deep can he dive? You see, people are out there doing this all the time. He's the competitor. You know, he wants to win. You see all these athletes, and you can understand some may be tinged with mode of goodness, but in general, most of them are driven by the mode of passion. They want to win. They want to compete. You know, they want to be in that environment. That's their juice. That's their energy. If they're in business, people in the mode of passion are gravitated toward business. You see, they like to do business. They like to be successful in business and sports and everything. You see, they want to be the success story. You know, they win and they're still never satisfied. They want to win more. You know, I was just watching a video by the most famous mountaineer, and he set this goal to climb all these different mountains in the quickest time. And he achieved it all, and he said, you know, it was like, it's over. He wanted to win all these races. He won them all. And he said it was like after he achieved everything he was on his list, it wasn't like, yay, I did it. It's like, now I'm sad. I got nothing else to try to do. It's like it's over. Like, now what? And it was like 2 years into the to the project, you know. So this is the point. Then it's never good enough. They're never satisfied, you see. And as a result of this, they're often very angry because, you know, motive passion is where lust resides. Lust is the driving force in the mode of passion. And from lust comes anger, you see. So many times there's anger involved in relationships. You know, the activity that is the personification of the mode of passion is the activity or attraction between male and female. They gravitate toward each other. Sex life is the activity that is produced by the influence of the mode of passion, you see. But of course, it just keeps driving us on. And no matter how much we get, it's not enough. We want more. See, we're never satisfied. You can't satisfy the senses because they're never satisfied. See, George Harrison of the Beatles, he was understanding this. He had some inside information from my spiritual master. So he made a song one time after the Beatles broke up. He said, "Senses never gratified, only swelling like the tide. See, we must get out of this material world. Because in the material world, there's the influence of these modes of nature. See, so if we're in the material world, we're in the middle of the influence, you see. If you go in the water, you get wet. See, you can't go in the water and not get wet. Oh, you say, oh, well, I'll wear a dry suit. Don't be, don't try to be funny. You see, just take it as it is. Yeah, I'm not wet. I'm in a diving suit. It's completely dry. No, just understand. You go in the water, you get wet. Why? Because water's wet. That's how it is. So, you go in the material world, you get influenced by these modes of nature. You don't go in the water, you don't get wet. You don't go in the material world, you don't get influenced. You don't drink vodka, you don't get influenced by the fire. You see, this is the real solution. See, but let's get back to the idea of these influences. So the mode of passion leads to anxiety. See, you strive and strive, and you get something. Before you get it, you're in anxiety. You won't get it. You get it, you're afraid you're going to lose it, and you lose it, and you're anxiety because you lost it. You see, the businessman, he's so wrapped up in the business deal, and he's in anxiety. It's not going to go through, or some competitor is going to beat him, or whatever. But he gets it, and now he's in anxiety because he's going to lose it. And then something happens, and he does, and all his achievement is gone, and he's in anxiety. It's always anxiety. You see, that's the mode of passion. And with that comes also, darkness and despondency and whatever. You see, it's a very agitating mode. Simple living is not on the list. See, complex. You've got a chance to make it simple. Oh no, you got to make it difficult. Got to make it hard. See, got to make life very, very complex. You see, we get buried in debts. See, and now it's so easy to do because that's what, quote, they who control us, they who control us, who are controlled by also the mode of passion, want us to be in debt because that's where they make their money. See, oh, here's another credit card. Would you like another one? Oh, You get in the mail, oh, we've selected you. You're now qualified for this card with a $10,000 credit line, and just spend, 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 and get buried in debt, and you got to pay it off for the rest of your life, and there's the anxiety, and so on. It just keeps going, no relief, And we're attracted to mode of passion foods. See, those simple foods and the mode of goodness, they're not interested in. They're too bland. They're too healthy. They make me sick. I want passionate food. I want spicy food and hot food and, complex food and elaborate food, and on and on and on and on it goes, you see. And we eat ourselves many times into ill health, you see. Mode of passion food, mode of passion everything, see. It's interesting. Well, I'll talk about that. Remind me about colors. That's even interesting. Okay, so that's the mode of passion. Very, very, difficult place to be, really. And then the mode of ignorance, tamaguna, you see. Rajaguna, mode of passion, tamaguna, mode of ignorance. That's even worse, believe it or not, you see. That is the mode of darkness, you see. At least in the mode of passion, you're motivated, you're active, you're trying to achieve something. And maybe you achieve something good. It can be like that, But in the mode of ignorance, you're in the dark, man. Your consciousness is covered. Your psyche is covered. Your ambition, basically zero. Survival is basically the mode. I got enough to eat. Sleep is very, very dear to a person in the mode of ignorance. So people sleep much more than they need to. See, sometimes 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. See, dark. They like that. I had a friend one time, and he was obviously in this mode. See, and he'd sleep to 11, 12 o'clock every day. And it's not like he stayed up till 4 in the morning, And if you walked around in his house at 10 o'clock in the morning, he'd get angry. Why you woke me up? Man, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Come on. But that's how it is. That's their happiness, Darkness, intoxication, very, very prominent in the mode of ignorance, you see. They like intoxication, and especially the dark types of intoxication. The alcohol or the downer drugs, the heroines, and the drugs that just put you in these darker regions, And so this is a real hell. It's really, really hell. Depression, very, very prominent. See, people are so dark. They're so depressed. They go into these dark spaces. They even call it that. I'm in a very dark space right now. They go in their rooms and they don't even come out sometimes for 6 months. You see, they just can't make it. And, suicide is right in there. It's so dark, it's so painful, it's so empty, it's so lonely, it's so hellish. There's zero reason to live. See, the guy in the mode of passion, he's got something to live for, to win the next race, to make the next business deal, to have the next sex life and whatever, you see, to have the family, to raise the family, to be proud of the family. Look what I achieved. This is my sons and my daughters, and they're successful, and he's getting his success through their success. And they graduated from university and with high degrees, and they've got a job making $200,000 a year, and they're somebody. So now I'm somebody because they're somebody. I didn't quite make it myself, but they're doing it for me, so I'm living my success through them, and so on. That's the mode of passion. There's something motivating this person. But in the mode of ignorance, there's nothing like that going on. It's all bad. It's all dark. It's all empty. There's no reason to live. For what? Just to wallow in this dark pit for days on end, months on end, years on end, the rest of my life? There is no rest of my life. I'm going to end it right now. See, I'm going to enter to that region where It's either no pain, no anxiety, no frustration, or I'll enter the region where I don't even exist. That's what they want, self-annihilation. See, I want to annihilate myself. And they try in many, many ways, through self-harm and through, all the things that are going on. So, this is the mode of ignorance, you see. They're attracted to mode of ignorance, food. You see, old food, decaying food, fermented foods, meat is in the mode of ignorance. They're very attracted to that, just bad food, dark food. Their health is bad, mental health is bad, their whole persona is bad. They're just dark people. And you can see people in all these different categories. You don't see many in the mode of goodness, because that's today especially a very rare condition. Because the modes of passion and the mode of ignorance are so dominant in society today. And that's what's promoted. That's where it's all going. That's where the trend is. That's where we're going. And when you come, and let me also say that it's not just one mode or another mode or another mode. It's usually not that clean, There's combinations. You see, a person can be under the influence of the mode of goodness and passion, you see. Well, in that case, he's got some goodness qualities, but he's driven by the passion qualities. And so therefore, he's driven to do good things, you see. But it gets complex, and, there's all the, the self-serving interest involved because of the mode of passion. It's not, very pure, but still it can achieve some good things, you see. Especially with some direction, some good knowledge, a person can actually, be very, very instrumental in creating some good situations for himself and other people. Whereas if you take the mode of passion and combine it with a mode of ignorance, you can do a lot of damage. You can drive everything down to a very low, dark level with enthusiasm. You see, you can push it, you can promote it, you can make it happen on the darker and darker levels. Things become more and more and more degraded. Mode of passion combined with the mode of ignorance is really, really dangerous, really destructive, and really common. That's where it's at today. The world today is driven by the modes of passion and ignorance, you see. And therefore, you wind up with a very difficult life. A life that you find difficult, a life that's of society. Society is just a combination of everybody's lives. I mean, that's what society is. It's just a bunch of people come together, and if they're under these different influences, it'll be one way or another way. If you have a society based on the principles of the mode of goodness, and the yoga teachings are based on that principle, if you're in the material world, understand these influences and act accordingly. And there's rules to keep you there. Don't do these things. This will drag you down to the modes of passion and ignorance, you see. If you have a society based on those principles, then you will have a very, very uplifting society. You will have a society that's peaceful, it's happy, it's harmonious, it's caring, it's loving, and spiritual development, spiritual evolution is on the front page. People are interested in that. They're doing that, and they're achieving results from that. See, so in bygone days, when the Vedic system was intact, this was the motivating factor. And the whole society was basically being lifted, by this. Led by priestly Brahmins who had this knowledge, the perfect spiritual masters who guided the Brahmins, and the Brahmins guided the Kshatriyas, or the administrators, you see, and they protected society. And on it went. It was the society based on the principles given by the Supreme Lord. This is his perfect society for those trapped in the material world. How you can get out, see, how you can go beyond that. But we don't have that. Now we have passion and ignorance. Goodness is almost gone. You see, what we consider the mode of goodness now is not, you know. In the mode of goodness, you follow the scriptures, you follow the spiritual teachers. That's the mode of goodness. That's where you get your direction. You're not trying to figure it out on your own. You're not independently trying to achieve it. You see, you're following the authorities who know these truths, and they take you through the mode of goodness to the mode of pure goodness. This is the transcendental realm. This is where it's above even the mode of goodness, above the influences of the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. You see, now you're under the influence of the Supreme Lord directly. This is your influence. And this is the pure, perfect influence. You see? But we don't even want to know about this today. This is another tragedy. We don't even want to know about that. We are very, very interested in, involved in, you know, completely controlled by the modes of passion and ignorance. And this is where we think, because of this influence, we want to be. This is my desire. This is how I want it to be. I am instrumental in making this better. This better meaning freedom to do whatever I want in the mode of passion and ignorance. See, don't tell me to restrict anything, because that is in the way of me being free to do whatever the modes of passion and ignorance demand that I do. See? So, therefore, this is a perverted understanding of freedom. It's not freedom, it's bondage. And don't forget, there's the laws of karma. Our actions do come with reactions. We do have to experience the results of our activities. In the modes of goodness, we're very, very, let's just say it another way. In the mode of goodness, we are not influenced to commit sinful activities. That's not what we do in the mode of goodness. In the modes of passion and ignorance, this is the influence to commit sinful activities. This means activities that will create bad karma, bad result, which keeps me in the material world, and I will suffer future punishment for these bad karma activities, sinful activities, that I am almost impelled to do because of the influences of the modes of passion and ignorance. You see, whereas in the Vedic system, the mode of passion was directed, it was controlled. It had its good result because it was done according to the authorities. Okay, you've got all this energy and drive and motivation and ambition and so on and so on. Then direct it like this, and you will get a good result. And this will purify you, and gradually you can come to higher and higher levels, you see. You can be a real asset, you know. But misdirected, mode of ignorance, fully, you know, fueled by the mode of passion and covered by the mode of ignorance, no knowledge, no understanding, no idea of what should be done and what not should be done, you're driven lower and lower and lower into depravity, degraded life. And you've got a society based on that. You're going to have chaos, confusion, quarrel, anger, frustration, depression, darkness, hell. You know. I mean, it's just how it works. And that's why this information is so valuable. So each of us as an individual in the material world have the choice to choose what is going to influence me. See? With knowledge, I can make a conscious choice. I'm going to be influenced by the mode of goodness. Therefore, I'm going to live a mode of goodness lifestyle. The whole yoga lifestyle is a mode of goodness lifestyle. From the food you eat, clean, vegetarian food, you know, and then we'll add in some pure goodness. You offer it to the Supreme Lord first, you see. You keep your body completely healthy, you know, not only through the food, but through proper exercise. You see it as a valuable asset. You come to understand, I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul. You know, I'm part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. You began to be interested in this knowledge. You gain this knowledge. And You're given the understanding this is true from within your heart by the Supreme Lord. You see, the way you dress, the way you see other people, how you react to any given situation, all under the influence of the mode of goodness. You see, your life is simple. You know, you're not attached to this and that and the other. Attachment is the personification of the mode of passion, but in the mode of goodness, you're not that much attached. You are attached to happiness because, you know, the mode of goodness produces happiness on a material level. Mental and physically, you're pretty happy. Your health is good, your mental condition is stable, you're bright, you're satisfied, you know, you're happy. And you can get attached to that too. But this attachment is not that bad. You can go beyond that quite easily. Whereas in the mode of passion, you're so attached to your enjoyment, to your senses, to relationships, to successes, to everything. You're just attached. And when you're ripped out of that, you suffer huge. You know, and the world is always changing, and we're always ripped away from that which we're attached to. And at the time of death, you're completely ripped away from all of it, you see. And there's great suffering for you. There's great suffering of the other people who have the same attachment to you, and on it goes. You see, this is very painful, very, very painful. And then you just flip over into another life and do the same thing again, you see. And in the mode of ignorance as well. So, you know, it's very, very valuable to know how the material world is working. Remember, we're spirit soul. The spirit soul is not really involved in any of this. See? It's stated again in Bhagavad Gita. We're seated like on a machine. See? The material body is like a machine. We're seated on the machine. But under the influence of these modes of nature, especially passion and ignorance, we're like a helpless passenger. You know, it's described that the driver of the machine is the intelligence. You know, let's say a chariot, because when this was, you know, put forth, this example, that was when horses and chariots and so on were the mode of conveyance. So the passenger is the soul. And so the driver of the chariot's the body. The driver of the chariot is the intelligence. The reins that connect the driver to the horses is the mind. And the horses are the five senses. And they're just running wild, you see. And the intelligence, contaminated intelligence, is just directing the horses in the wrong way, being taken, or just letting them go wild, you see. Just get out of the way and let them take us where we want. The mind is always coming up with ideas, you know, oh, let's go there, and look at this, and see that, and taste that, and feel that, and do this. And see. And the passenger, the soul, is just sitting there taken for the ride, you see. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Coming back again and again and again, see, covered by his desires, the subtle body, you know, covered by his attachments, covered by his karma, and just, here we are in the material world again, in another body, another scenario, going through the whole trip, you see. That's how it works. But if we come to the mode of goodness, and hear this knowledge, and then begin to follow this teaching, and apply these superior activities and practices, you know, like chanting the mantras. This is not mode of goodness, this is mode of pure goodness. This is spiritual influence, spiritual purity, spiritual power that can purify us of even the mode of goodness, you see. And we gradually begin to see that even the mode of goodness, as good as it is not good enough. A lot of good karma may take me to the heavenly planets where I can enjoy immensely, but I'm still in the material world. I'm still under the influence of the material modes of nature. I am still on the wheel of birth and death. You see, this is not good enough for the soul. I'm the spirit soul. I'm not the body. I'm not looking for a perfect situation for the body. see, heavenly planets where I can enjoy all these heavenly pleasures. No, I want to go beyond that, where I, the spirit soul, enter into my world, see, my place where I am supposed to be, my home, the spiritual world, see, and take that to the limit of purification, which can be done through the process of bhakti yoga in this lifetime, right now. See, it can be done. But first you got to get interested. See, we choose. So if I like the mode of ignorance, I will choose to be with those kind of people in those places. Nature, as I mentioned, is in the mode of goodness. Cities, mode of passion. You can feel it. You come out of the forest, you know. I know Ruben likes to go on trips in the mountains for, you know, multiple days. So do I. You come out of the forest, so just go for one day, go for 8 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour, whatever. And you come into the city. It's a completely different world. Everything is buzzing. You feel it. And you get caught up in it. You know, you have to move with that energy because that's where it is. And you either feel completely devastated or you just get into a flow, you know, and you're out there and you're going for it too, you see. And then in the city, there's the mode of ignorance places, the bars, the clubs, you know, these dark restaurants and places where people go, you know, and that influence will come in. There they go and they get intoxicated and, you know, they have a good time. They have a good time. They stay up all night. You know, person in the mode of goodness, he goes to bed at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at the latest, because that's when it's time to go to bed. Nighttime is the time when the mode of ignorance is the most strong, see? So he sleeps during that time because sleep is in the mode of ignorance. He's helped to sleep by the mode of ignorance. That's good. That's nature's arrangement. 4 o'clock in the morning or 5, you know, then the mode of goodness comes in. The yogi gets up. You know, he takes advantage of the mode of goodness. That helps him in his spiritual practice. It pushes him. He's inspired by that. The air is the best, called prana. You see, his mind is the most calm and still. You know, he's absorbing all the good things of that time of the day. Mode of goodness time to engage in his spiritual practice. Mode of passion is the daytime. You know, from right after sunrise on till sunset, that's a mode of passion. And that helps us do what we need to do. I mean, we got to do something, right? So it helps you to do what you need to do. Go to your job, do your work, do your business, whatever you got to do. You see? And then in the evenings, mode of goodness comes back, and you spend that time in your spiritual practice, your meditations, you know, your chantings and your studyings and associating with people in a like mode, and then you go to sleep. And the opposite is true for people in the mode of passion. They stay up all night. People in the mode of ignorance, they stay up all night, you see. And when they're supposed to be sleeping, they're awake. When they're supposed to be awake, they're sleeping, you know, and on it goes. You see, everything's out of sync. There's no harmony. So there's ill health physically, there's ill health mentally. There's very, very difficult times in society. People's vision is wrong. Their motivations are wrong. Their ideas of success are wrong. Their ideas of what will make us and society happy are not correct. And the whole thing is, as we know. There you go. You know, who can deny these things? You see? So you are where you are, you like what you like. But if you hear these truths, you might, even though you don't really like it in one way, you like the idea. That's the beginning. Take these mantras. A person in the mode of ignorance can chant the mantras. A person in the mode of passion can chant the mantras. A person in the mode of goodness can chant the mantras. A person in the mode of pure goodness does chant the mantras. You see, you can chant these mantras. They will purify you. They will lift you up. You see, follow these principles of yoga. You see, Bhakti Yoga system is filled with guidelines. It can take you out of the mode of ignorance, out of the mode of passion, and into the mode of goodness. And from the mode of goodness, you can step off into the mode of pure goodness and be under the influence that is perfect, the influence of the Supreme Lord, His will, His desire, His love, you know, His affection. That's the influence that is absolutely the pure friend of the soul. You see, this is the bright light for the soul. You see, and this is where happiness is and satisfaction is. See, so anyway, time is up, as usual. But that's the whirlwind tour of the modes of nature. See, 3 influences of material nature that shape our lives. See, our lives have been shaped to now by these modes, but we can change that shape. We can remold our life, see, by making decisions to do so, making choices to do so. And that's an individual choice. Okay, so we're going to end with one more meditation. This is called Sankirtan because this is so valuable. See, this is transcendental sound. This is spiritual influence. So Sankirtan is congregational chanting. 2 or more people come together and chant the mantra. We're going to use the mantra Gauranga, which we've already learned, and then add one more mantra, Hari Bol. So I'm going to play a guitar and sing the mantra while you listen. And then I got a couple of friends here that are going to repeat, and you can sing along with them. Okay? So the mantra is what you will hear. Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. No, not that mantra. But Hari Bol, Gauranga, Gauranga, Hari Bol, etc. Whatever I chant, you just repeat. See? Ruben will be chanting and everybody. All right. Here we go. So just relax again. See? Relaxation is one of the, common things in the mode of goodness, but it's absent in the mode of passion. We're never relaxed. And in the mode of ignorance, we're relaxed from ignorance. Gauranga. Everybody. Haribo Gauranga. Hey. Haribo Gauranga. Goranga Rebo. Haribo Goranga. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Haribo Goranga. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Haribo Goranga. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Haribo Goranga, hey. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Haribo Goranga. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga. 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 Goranga Haribo. Okay, so that's Sankirtan. And Sankirtan is actually recommended as the way to come to the mode of goodness and pure goodness in this age we live in now called Kali Yuga. So we hope you found something interesting today. Take these mantras, add them to your life, you know, on the Tranai Meditation website and so on. There's all kinds of information about how to get in contact with other people who are following this teaching and understand these truths, and, you know, opportunities to chat with people that are, you know, doing this and so on. So we wish you all the best. Ruben, we thank you very much. You and Christian and whoever else, Lynn and Anya and all of you guys. Thank you very much for all the arrangements. And we'll be back next week to put forth another idea or two. So everybody, we wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Namaste.